kid playing different RPG games, I always thought it would be pretty interesting if, like, I could say what I wanted to say or in place of the character and then have the game respond to that. That would have been like amazing technology available. And well, I don't like the company that's doing it. According to this tweet from Hunter Next Gen Player, EA new patent would allow players to voice characters in games themselves. You would input speech and then the tech would replicate your voice for in-game characters. Would you use this? Oh my god, for a Star Wars game, I would be so tempted to play it, but in a world that we live in that has the potential to turn your voice into AI for their own profits and stuff, and then have that distributed through other games and whatnot, it's a very sketchy road. So these days, I don't think I would personally play that kind of game, especially with EA behind it. It's very, very yikes. And we will be going through this. See more. We've got the Very Alley Gaming, VA Gaming. I don't know. EA working on player-voiced characters in games. It really sounds like the devil's trying to sell you paradise. 4 minutes read. I've barely looked at it. I don't know if I want to go through the entire... Yeah, okay. We'll see. Rundown of the article. EA Sport, or EA's newly issued patent, aims to enable players to make their in-game characters communicate using their own voices. The patent outlines a system that involves inputting speech content data into a synthesizer module, which generates source acoustic features representing the desired voice or style. The heart of the patent is a voice converter, which uses an acoustic feature encoder to meld the source acoustic characteristics with the target speaker embedding associated with the player, replicating the player's voice for the in-game character. This is sounding fairly yikesy to start. Well, the potential is yikesy. The feature inherently is a kind of compelling, cool thing to literally put yourself in that game. That sounds very enticing to people who want to engage with just that fantasy world and then see themselves in that power trip. It helps bridge that gap to separating the reality from fantasy kind of thing. I think that's the line I was going, or the station for that train of thought. That seems right. This technology can generate speech audio in the player's voice, allowing the player to speak with the player's unique personal voice, and it can even capture nonverbal elements of speech like tone, emotions, and emphasis. The input data for the system can take the form of text, allowing players to type the dialogue they want their character to deliver, making it a more practical and versatile approach compared to traditional methods that would require extensive recorded speech data. Wait, what? So they're thinking text to speech to let you... How are they going to make it the player's voice? It would just be like a generic AI voice reading out your stuff, wouldn't it? Or you talk for a little bit and then it just kind of estimates. Today we encountered a newly issued patent by Electronic Arts titled generating speech in the voice of a player of a video game, which was submitted in October 2020. So it's not a new idea per se. This patent, made public attention earlier this month, outlines a technology for producing speech audio within a video game, enabling players to make their in-game characters communicate using their own voices. Okay, so speech content data, speech style features, goes into the synthesizer, goes into the AI, whatever, goes into the voice converter with the player identifier data, which gets done a thing, which goes into the voiceover coder, which exports this sound. I know what I'm talking about. A computer implemented method of generating speech audio in a video game is provided, or in a video game is provided. The method includes inputting into a synthesizer module input data that represents speech content. Source acoustic features for the speech content in the voice of a source speaker are generated and are input, along with speaker embedded associated with the player of the video game into an acoustic feature encoder of a voice converter. A quote from the patent's abstract. I don't get this terminology or phrasing. We need like a real tech person to look into this. I don't know the in and outs of all this shit. Do we keep going? I guess so. Trudge through it. The quote continues. One or more acoustic feature encodings are generated as output of the acoustic feature encoder, which are inputted into the acoustic feature decoder of the voice converter to generate target acoustic features. The target acoustic features are processed with one or more modules to generate speech audio in the voice of the player. Please put that in layman's terms. Please. In video games, players often create their own characters, and they might want these characters to speak in a specific voice. However, the old methods to make this happen needed a lot of recorded speech data, making them less practical. Electronic Arts introduces a system that can make in-game characters speak in a player's voice without requiring tons of recorded speech data. Okay. A lot of this seems repeated stuff. The process begins with synthesizer module that takes input data representing speech content. The synthesizer generates acoustic features that capture the desired voice or style from a source speaker, which could be another character or actor. Wait, so basically you have to train it yourself? All gets put into the model trainer. Okay, I think the speaker embedding is where it exports it. Oh yeah, these diagrams are also example methods of how this might play out. Patent also notes that the input data can take the form of text, allowing players to type the dialogue they desire their character to deliver. Like Zork? Is it like an AI that copies your voice? Yes, kinda, yeah. They do it for a video game, and it looks like the patent was also talking about how when you want to have your character say something specific, you type it in the form of text, and then the AI generates your voice saying that. Additionally, the system can capture the nonverbal elements of speech, such as tone, emotions, or emphasis. I'm confused with how they're using nonverbal, because like emotion, it can be conveyed verbally. Emphasis is how you're changing which parts of the words you're focusing on verbally. Tone is this is who wrote this? Okay. Oh, I could just scroll down a little bit more. Huzaifa Khan. Okay. Currently pursuing a Bachelor of Science degree in data science. Okay, so this guy definitely understands a lot of what he is actually writing about. I'm assuming it's just hard to convey or convert that into layman's terms. In August, we came across a comparable Electronic Arts patent which aimed to ensure the character voices in video games authentically reflect their ages as the storyline progresses. It appears that the company is dedicating significant efforts to enhance the immersive and realistic aspects of video games for players. The patent's potential applications are vast. Players can interact with in-game characters in their own voice, making dialogues and conversations feel more personal and engaging. This innovation could open up entirely new avenues for narrative-driven video games where the player's character becomes an extension of themselves. Nevertheless, it's essential to emphasize that this system is currently just a patented concept. Whether Electronic Arts intends to integrate this envisioned system into their future or existing video game franchises is a matter of that only time will clarify. What do you think about this? Do tell us your opinions in the comments below. That's... Oh, I literally need to sign up to make a comment? That makes sense. That makes sense why there's no responses. But I still think this is an important thing to talk about. Because there is something to be said about wanting to put yourself into a video game. I personally really, really love video games that have high character customization or character creation. It's something that just personally appeals to me. There's a lot of people that want to create themselves in that game. They try to see themselves as the protagonist of that game. And using this could potentially bridge that gap. I just dislike the idea of a massive corporation like Electronic Arts that is extremely greedy and predatory with its loot boxing. That I don't want those kinds of people in control of an AI that's trained off of its consumers, that's using that could potentially just use that in the future in place of actual voice actors. There is a thing about wanting to have yourself reflected in the game, but this just creates such a scary potential to me that could cost people their jobs in the future. That is what I'm particularly concerned about right now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe for more content, and if you want to join the community, feel free to check out the Discord. I love to voice chat in there, so if you want to ever talk, I'm usually available. Well, in the afternoons.